Polka dotted or striped. For the blackfella, the land for me personally is the core of who I am. It's my being. If I'm not with the land and I'm not connected to the land, I'm no longer who I am. I'm no longer a Gamilaroi person. I'm not a Gamilaroi Yinad. I'm just what do you call it, a lost wandering soul trying to find a place. But since being given the stories, the history of this place, I found my place. I know who I am now. And nobody, no matter how many fences you put up, how many do not trespass or do not walk past here signs up, I know in my heart and in my soul that this land, I will always belong to it no matter what. That's Tenterfield there, look. See the little white houses there? That's the township there, look. So the blackfellas would have even, back up there, been watching that area being settled. How's that for you? Freaky.
1841 saw the first European settler come into the region. He was a sheep herder and settled on what became Tenterfield Station. It didn't take long before Tenterfield was actually gazetted a town. 1851, gazetted a township, and from there it prospered and grew very quickly. So we saw cattle come into the area. We saw a lot of mining open up. So by the 1870s, the area became quite prosperous and very important for the economies of both colonies. So it had become quite a hive of activity.
I'm pretty sure there's some. My nan's has lived there all of her life since she was little and that, you know. My grandmother. This is all her land and that, you know, I'm from around Maureen and that, so I'll take a look, we'll have a look. So this just feels like this is the only piece of part of the land that we got around here, you know, around Tenterfield, you know. It's not much left, you know, there's heaps of it around here. It's just like, you know, I don't see nothing of it, like we don't hear nothing about it or... Like the mating area for them, and there's a bit more down further that we should go. This is the stories my uncles and that tell me about it and that. You walk into blackfellas land and that, you know. And they tell me if you move stuff and that and, you know, don't replace it to the exact spot where it was or in that area, that one of your family members could end up sick or you know. It's just a spiritual, real strong, I don't know, just, that's the belief I got.
Left us about 20 or so years ago. But the community is such that it's rebounded from adversity at different times, and it's very strong. It has a nice feel. It's a nice community to be a part of. Very happy people, willing people to get on with each other, and it's just a great community. So you know, I think it's a good success story in many ways. And you know, I think you know, our Indigenous population, our history here. Is quite extensive. It's not necessarily well known by the local people. It's, and I guess that's the same right across Australia in many ways, where the stories are slowly coming out. You know, it hasn't been to the fore for many years. Parks, of course, was a great advocate for the Aboriginal people, and I felt there needed to be a lot of work needed to be done to assist the Indigenous people of Australia. But of course, it was a difficult time for him to progress that. And of course, many years later, we can say that some of the work that he did has come to fruition. But there's a whole new story there.
But on this corner, there was an old house here, and that was our house. On this corner. It's been knocked down now, but
Yeah.
in this little scrub over here, I used to play, and Mum was yelling to me one day trying to find me, and I was sitting in the bushes over here, and there was this huge black snake in it. I can still remember it was like, it was somebody, it wasn't a snake, it was somebody, but he had me mesmerised, that old black snake, and I couldn't move, I couldn't answer and everything, and then Mum came looking for me, and that's what sort of broke the spell when she found me. But he had me, that snake. And it wasn't a harmful thing. I could just...
He had you hypnotised.
It was an old black man, I'll tell you now it was, but I was in that bushes there, and I never...
Makes me think about what, you know, just imagine what they're doing walking through the scrub and that, you know, with their laps on and that. With the old spear in their hand. It just makes me want to go and do that sort of stuff, you know. Makes me feel peaceful. Yeah, it makes me proud of who I am, you know, what colour I am, what my ancestors done with this land. They looked after it. We still do look after it. We pick our rubbish up, you know. Especially around our sites and that, you know, around town and that. Yeah, we're pretty respectable. We like, you know, we look after one another and that. We respect one another, any culture.
One here we believe is the man's one. It's telling us that there's a men's site that's close, which was most likely Wollongong, where the Bunjalung men encouraged all the other neighbouring tribes to bring their boys up to as far as Bunjalung National Park, to take their boys there as young boys, initiate them, then come back down as men. The other rock that we're going to show you later on the way back down, it's a woman's one, because we're of the plants and everything that's situated around here, from what I've been informed by my elders, but also with the archaeologists, is that the plants that were there were in abundance for the women to use at birthing time. So women came up to this particular area and they stopped here. Then the men went on further to go and take the boys over to be changed into men, and then bring them back as initiated men then to the tribes. But you do see on days like today, you might get the odd child that'll spark an interest and say, "Oh, why didn't you come and get me, Aunt? Oh, I would have liked to have gone there." You know, so you know that it's still being, the interest is still there. And it's important as a storyteller and as a keeper of the place here that I keep an eye out for the next generation of the person who's got the potential to be the carry-on, to be the next storyteller, to be the next keeper of the place. Our eldest elder we have is 83, and she's very frail and aged, and she can't get around very much. And our other elders, such as Helen and Lily and Diane and Pat, well, they've got other commitments and other things too, you know, so where they're tied up, I've been called upon to do things on their behalf, or in the role and capacity of as an elder. And I can't do that if I don't have the younger mob to pass my story on. To be an elder, you have to have the next generation. So we need the next generation now to step up and say, "No, I don't want to play the wee today. I want to go out and learn a story about them rocks over there on the mountain," or "Unc, I want you to teach me about why is it that river is so special to us," or "Aunt, can you take us over there and teach us what this plant means?" You know, we need the young ones to step up and say that they're eligible to take this knowledge on now. It's not just no longer the responsibility of an elder to depict it and to point it out and to say, "Well, this is you, you're the person." I want the person to come to me and say, "Yes, I'll be willing to learn from you, Aunt." That would be the day that I think I'd be willing to hand it all over. and not be an elder ever again.